If things don't start getting figured out as to the future of this universe, then we got some problems. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on when you're watching this. My name is Brandon Aries, and welcome to The Sanctuary. After posting the Madam Web video, by the way, the video is out from last week, card is right up there for you. I was just scrolling through my comments section, and then I saw this one comment where he had said about Spider-Man 4, and that inspired an idea. There's all this back and forth drama with Tom Holland, Kevin Feige versus Sony about the future of Spider-Man 4. With that being said, it's time to talk movie. And this week, Spider-Man 4. Sony, get your notes out. Step into my office. Let's start with one of the main focuses of this film. Keep it to the streets. We've already seen this version of Spider-Man fight with the likes of the Avengers. Though with that conflict, we didn't really get any chance to really see him fight for the little guy, just like he said in Civil War. But wait, where is that? I'll give you a hint, it's not there. Post No Way Home, Peter Parker is a nobody. Nobody knows who this man is. Therefore, going into it, it should be a more grounded perspective. He is on his own. This is the part of Peter Parker's story arc where you're trying to build him as an independent hero. Day in and day out, he sacrifices himself to save New York. New York's only Spider-Man. Come on, Sony! The writing's practically on the frickin' wall. All you gotta do is stick to it. On a serious note, if he's teaming up with anybody, I would want it to be with other street heroes. I want to see him with the likes of Daredevil, Luke Cage. Build up the story of him being on his own while being Spider-Man, while going to college, starting a new life. Keeping Peter's story grounded for this next installment leads to my next point. No multiverse. I get that this movie is kinda supposed to lead into the next set of Avengers movies, but you can still keep that on the streets. We dealt with it a little bit in No Way Home, and we'll get back to that. You don't need guys like Doctor Strange coming back. He's not the one that should have to deal with Kang or the Beyonder. I mean, leave time and space to some of those people that are in space. Don't bring in Madam Web. We already talked about that last week. Card's right up there. But don't even dare! You are centering this story around Peter's new life, where he meets new people, maybe meets new friends, a love interest, gets a job, goes through college, all of that. With new people entering Peter's life as he starts this new time of being Spider-Man and Peter Parker alone, some gotta go. That's why to me there should be no Ned, no MJ. I know for some people they're going to be like, oh, but MJ has to be in there. Wrong. If MJ and Ned were to still be in Spider-Man 4, I'd want it to be brief. Show the audience that they have no idea who Peter Parker is. Eventually, as the next installments come in, then we start to know who Peter Parker is. To that leads me to my other big point about people being in this film. No other Spider-Man. That includes Tobey. That includes Andrew, because Sony has been wanting Tobey and Andrew to come back into this film, while Tom and Kevin Feige are like, no, let's keep it grounded. They're fighting for us. Think about it this way. If you bring back Tobey and Andrew for Spider-Man 4, you're taking away the nostalgia, the magic, and almost the entire reason for No Way Home. No Way Home felt like such a heartfelt moment. And then to see them go, it kind of felt like it was a goodbye on our terms. Like we got our childhood heroes back one more time. Sony's just trying to milk the cash cow over here like, oh, any views will count. No! Think about what Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man stood for in those 10, 11 years in the MCU. You're not going to bring him back after he died. It makes no sense to his story, to his overall character. So why are you going to bring back Tobey and Andrew? Another spider person that I do not want to see in this film, Miles Morales. I know, trust me, if there's any Miles fan, it's this guy. But right now, his big focus is the Spider-Verse animated films. Keep him there. I think we just got this Spider-Man, and we have to learn how he became the great hero that is Spider-Man. If they're gonna introduce Miles, it should be by Spider-Man 6, if it makes it to another trilogy. Build up the greatness in Spider-Man, in Tom Holland's character, that he can be by himself, that he can fight the greats, that he can be the best, and then bring in Miles. I think we still need more time with Tom and more alone time with Tom before we even get Miles. Another thing I don't want in this movie, the black suit. You can show a little clip of it, maybe as like a post-credit scene that it's entering, since it's gonna be in the Secret Wars movies, but leave it at that. You just got the beautiful final swing suit. Give us some time with that. You realize the only reason why they changed the spider suit so much is to raise toy sales? Come on, think about the Tobey Maguire movies. He virtually had the same suit for all 3 movies with the addition of the black suit. But where was he at the end of the movie? Back to the plain old red and blue. With this final swing suit, show us some time, some age with the suit. And I don't think Peter should be learning this new chapter of his life with the symbiote. Don't do that. My last point, what is a good hero without a good villain? These are my 2 picks for the villain in Spider-Man 4. And both of these are grounded takes. Number 1, Negative Man. This kind of goes into my Insomniac bleeding into the MCU. Before Aunt May's passing, she worked at Feast. This is a perfect segue. Peter could still be grieving the loss of his Aunt May while he's trying to figure everything out alone. That's where Martin Lee comes in as almost like a father figure to Peter in this fragile time of his. And with that, he's also the villain. We've already seen the potential of Mr. Negative against Spider-Man with Insomniac. What would be the difference here? The second villain kind of makes the most sense towards the MCU with the aftermath of Echo and then Daredevil Born Again coming soon. Kingpin. Having Kingpin as the main villain kind of helps bring in things like organized crime, characters like Tombstone, etc. Kingpin is this big guy that has big money and big guns and big hands to throw it down. And Peter is just Spider-Man. Barely has any money, barely has any friends, any family. It's just him. So to see those 2 dynamics come together and fight it out, I'm just saying, you're gonna put butts in seats. And that, for the most part, is how not to make Spider-Man 4. And you don't have to listen to me. I love movies and I love Spider-Man. And this just so happens to be both. That being said, I want to know what you think down below. What are some things you want to see in Spider-Man 4? What are some things you don't want to see in Spider-Man 4? What are some things that you think could happen in Spider-Man 4? Let me know in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to drop a like. It is always so much appreciated here in the Sanctuary. And if you're new, hit that subscribe button. And next to that is a notification bell for every week the Silver Boy pops up in your feed. And you guys know what happens next. In case we don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Peace.